All right, well, I'm going to get started. It's just a little bit after noon. I used to be a high school teacher and coach, and so kind of talk when the bell rings, shut the door, get the class started. Realtors were notorious. They seem to run a little late, and most of the things we go to start 15 to 20 minutes late, which gives everybody an excuse to be late. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. I am Michael Oldham. My lovely wife, Amy, is over here. I met her when we were checking in. Make sure you got signed in so you can see credit at the end of the class. We are the Oldham Team. We've been operating in this area for coming up on 8 years in June. I was a high school teacher and basketball coach for about 20 years, a little over 20 years. Here locally, Wiley, McKinney, Mineral Wells, not so local. And Amy was in mortgage business for about 20 years. So about 7.5 years ago, I decided I was ready to make a move to something else. And her mortgage industry experience and helped with me in my real estate license. Go ahead. Now we work as a team. The team is us and a big group of vendors to meet our client needs. As far as the lunch and learns, we are hosting these. I know this is the first time for many of you. It's good to see Ray back. But we host this every single Tuesday from noon to 1. You probably saw it through Eventbrite. Chris, I know, ran some marketing on it, which appreciate. You're here, whether you see it or not, on Eventbrite. We're going to be here. We're going to have a class. We're going to try to make that class very valuable. Some lunch and learns are the same thing over and over. We've been doing a lot on video, a lot on marketing, because personally, I feel the industry is moving that way. Most of my business in 7.5 years has come from Facebook, not from ads, just through the organic, my community of folks seeing us doing real estate and then calling us. Don't buy ads and things of that nature. So the overview for this, you probably wonder why there's a girls basketball team in that picture. That's one of my favorite pictures. That was my girls basketball team from McKinney North. We lost in the state final in 2014, but that was taken in Austin. And for me, this just reminds me of a great group of collaborators, which is what I want to turn this lunch and learn into. I would just like to see everybody, all of us collaborating to make our businesses get better and to build them as the industry's changing. That's why we're trying to bring in so many marketing, video, Facebook, some. So that is an overview of what we're looking to do. This wonderful room is sponsored by Caddo Home Loans, which is office out of Caddo building here, right? Chris Madrid is my personal lender choice. If buyers call me, Chris is the person I've been putting in contact with for about 7.5 years. So he's done great in my personal loan. I'm gonna let him come up and just. I like to give a quick mortgage update at these. I think it's valuable, especially the way the market's changing daily. Chris is pretty much like a stockbroker. He's watching it by the minute to get people best rates. So
yes, yeah. No, this week has been rough mortgage rates, right? Mortgage rates rely heavily on now on inflation. So as inflation information comes out and it's came back up. So the mortgage rates, right? So a couple of just quick updates, market updates. Existing home sales, as most of you probably already saw, were down. I think builders in January also kind of pulled back a little bit. So there's a lot of information that's out there that may be a little misleading, but again, overall, 4 million existing home sales on an annual basis, about 4 million. And expectations were higher than that, right? So we saw a decrease there. The median home prices down to about 359,000, which for the year number that's estimate that lower along the month. The two biggest things I want to say, two biggest things I want to point out are when you talk about inventory, right? There's 908,000 units that are available, but that's not homes that are built altogether, right? That's homes and permits that have been requested. So it could be raw land, So the reality of that number that they're saying that they're available is not, right? It's really more like 646,000 that's active and available compared to 2007, there's 4 million. Right, so if you guys hear this, there's a bubble, the housing market's gonna crash. The reality is there really is not. Back in 2007, 2008, there was essentially 4 million homes on the ground. Right, so completed homes that buyers have the ability to buy. That's not the case now. Right now, there's again roughly 626,000. So from an inventory perspective, if the typical inventory was like a bounce market, I talk about this all the time. It used to be like 6 months. It's now probably about 4.6 months. It's kind of a normal market's inventory perspective. When we take this number, subtract this number, it's actually like 4.9 months of inventory. So that really tells us that it's still a seller's market. Okay? But again, with buyers kind of being in and out of the market rates, right? And that's a big component. So homes on average right now are still on the market for about or up to the market for about 33 days. 54% of all homes that are on the market have sold in less than 30 days. So that's still great as long as they are priced appropriately. I mean, that's, I'm sure as agents you all see out of it on a daily basis. So homes come on the market if they're priced appropriately, if they are well staged, painted, right? There's not much issues. Those homes are going to sell. The other ones that have been on the market longer, you can probably. First time home buyers remain to be 31% of essentially people buying. Cash buyers is up, right, for this last month from 28% to 29%. And investors are still in the market. 1 out of every 6 homes that are sold is purchased by an investor. So this is the fun stuff I get to look at today. Back in January, when the CPI report came out, that simply indicated that inflation was coming down, the economy is slowing. That really helped mortgage-backed securities, which in turn right. So on I think it was right around January 8th and 9th, mortgage rates dropped. You guys heard, mortgage rates were almost at 8% in November, and in January we literally dropped 6%. Right. So that's where we peaked. Now since then it has kind of crept up, come down a little bit, crept back up in early February. And then from that point, whenever the CPI numbers in February came out, that said, hey, maybe the market's housing is still expensive. Anyway, a lot of that information has now pushed mortgage-backed securities down, which in turn has, so we're here, kind of battling this line, which it may be the 50-day moving average. Yeah, that's what it's 50-day moving average. So as long as we stay above this, we're okay. There's still a lot of, the guys that we follow, there's a lot of room to downside risk rates further. I don't feel like we're going to get any worse than November, but we are expecting a big CPI in March that really should help move us back up. So there's one in March that's going to replace numbers from last year. There's one in May that should be a big one, right? So we aren't going to see these kind of ups and downs in the rest of the year. But anyway, for right now, mortgage rates are 6.8% on the 30-year fix. Now that's typically with points. So if you guys hear that, somebody's saying have it at 4.99 or 5%. Unless they have, unless it's like a little base purchase a specific amount of, they essentially securitize a specific amount at X numbers. That's not like the going rates in the base rate from 10.375%, 6.2. 15-year Jumbo still pretty good. And then what I like to point out is just the difference between FHA and VA, which are still kind of low 6s. With a point, and then again, you're probably mid 60s. So again, there's a lot of good information on. If you guys have any questions, I watched this multiple times. Any questions at all? At this particular point, we are telling our clients they're closing outside of 30 days. Right? There's no reason to lock in a rate right now. We project that rates will be coming down. So any questions?
Was that Texas information?
That was national. Yeah, the stats. Yeah.
I think good. All right, our lunch sponsor today is also our representative. He's a multi-business guy. So Chris Cuellar with Cuellar Insurance. And then tell you a little bit about that real quick.
Hey guys, Chris Cuellar here, Cuellar is an insurance agency powered by USAID Insurance. We're a insurance broker. Thank you, Michael, for allowing me to be here today. I am actually just here to assist, help you grow your business, help you with your clients and finding the best insurance that's out there. I know I actually see a lot of places that I recognize that I help their clients. Pretty good surplus. Ready to serve class?
I've got one more thing.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, thanks guys for allowing me to be here as well.
Chris has I don't know if we'll talk about it a little bit, but he has a huge event tonight, down in Addison. With a lot of agents and different things, so. I just want to take a real quick, I mentioned I was basketball coach for 20 years. I still have the opportunity to work with basketball teams, locally. I work with the Prosper High School boys basketball team occasionally as a volunteer. Last year, and I just want to talk about this real quick today, I given pretty much every team I've ever had a t-shirt similar to this, consistency. And on the back of it, it says the day will come when winter will ask what you were doing in the off season. Meaning basketball seasons during winter, those tests are getting ready to come during the winter. What are you going to, or what did you do to prepare for that? And so last year, about the same time, I gave that t-shirt to the high school varsity, or actually the whole boys basketball program at Prosper. Not really knowing the full intensity of that saying. I was just doing it as a basketball reference. Then one of those young men, while I was coaching, went down with a seat in the middle of the game. And he had 3 of them eventually. He recovered from that one and had another one. Now he is going back to school 2 days a week, after suffering, learning how to talk, learning how to walk, and all of these things. I went to see him a couple of weeks ago, and he had that shirt on when I went to see him. And it made me think winter doesn't just refer to basketball season. Winter is different things to us. It could be in our business. Some of us have hit winter over the last 8 months in our business. Some of us hit a winter in our life, in our job, in our health. And so basically what I want to talk to you today is just stay consistent on what you're doing. Sometimes we are succeeding so slow that we think we're failing. So we'll lose that little bit of consistency. So I just wanted to take a minute. We have to consistently be our best versions of ourselves all the time. You'll see if you come to these classes by Success Never Rests brand, that is on your worst day, be good, on your best day, be great, and on every other day, get better. And so I just feel if you're trying to be your best in every single moment, when your winter comes, you'll be ready for it and you'll be prepared, whether that's business, life, your health, or whatever. So keep that success never rests mindset and you'll be ready to face basically anything in your life. And then the last thing is, your brand is consistency. So in 2023, you are the brand. Your broker's not the brand. If you're on a team, your team leader's not the brand. You are the brand. Nowadays, Ray's been doing the 30-day video challenge where he's on Facebook Live and made a video for 30 days straight. That shows consistency. It shows his brand of consistency to his community. And they're going to say, if Ray can do that for 30 days, then he can probably get me through what I need to get through this problem. So for being here today, I have an ultimate guide to branding. It's a little 11 to 12 page ebook that I put together on, making sure you drill down on your brand. So I'm going to send you like the first 3 pages of that, which has an activity on identifying yourself. So you kind of get an idea of what your brand is. All right. I'm going to bring Chris back up. He is the agency owner at Goosehead Insurance. He's co-owner of Ace Credit Consulting, which is actually presenting the class today. He's very experienced entrepreneur, like I said, he's built several businesses. And he offers, what do you say, 15 track group classes now through his company. So he's doing a lot of teaching and things of that nature. So I'm gonna bring him up. It's gonna take just a few seconds for him to get his computer flipped over. I'm ready because I know this. You know, my time, we go up here and give us a 30-second commercial on Ace Credit Consulting. I think it's 6 seconds.
So, not Chris, but I am Chris' account executive, Tanya Ross with Ace Credit Consulting. It is true, he owns both of the companies. So if you have a client with me and then, you know, they go through the credit restoration process, which is industry based as well. So keep that in mind, we work with Chris Madrid a lot. So we know in the terms of credit, what a lender needs to make it deal work, right? We're not just gonna take a client on and hope for the best. We're doing it specifically to that lender and their requirements to get them not only back to the lender, back to you guys to sell the home and it's not going there. You guys have my direct contact information, and then if there's an insurance need or you guys want me to maybe touch base with our right next to me, say, hey, can you see what this house is gonna do? And then give you guys all the information and be that point of contact for you. You have been every 45 days on the client, and if you don't have any questions, you guys can always reach out. If it's just like, hey, I have a client, I'm talking to them right now, I don't know what to do, I want to guide them, give me a call, and I'll tell you, hey, do this, or hey, we do this, or hey, we're the policy. And my cards are back there, and we can put them up there. Yeah.
All right, guys, so officially the class has begun. Great news is Chris actually, Chris already helped us with a couple of the first slides and keep through solo. And Michael is gonna actually help us, when dive into it. It's gonna be kind of an open forum. So what may be working for one person in one area, depending on who they're marketing to and who, what kind of business they're going after, whether it's first time land or a, you know, high end, whatever it may be. We're gonna all, it's a group think tank, okay? So don't be scared to ask questions, definitely don't be scared to speak up, if something that's working for you. And, you know, we're open for all, you know, we're all gonna learn together. But marketing trends, so this is all the PowerPoint that I have to go through bullet points of the class, and then we're gonna open it up to political fun, but spanning across more than 268,000 square miles and a population of over just under 30 million residents. Texas is the second largest state in the US and the second most populous. Yeah. So basically, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of land, and we have definitely a lot more room for growth. So now, how many people are in Prosper alone that either live here or do a lot of business? Your hands. Okay. Ray, where's your main area?
Close to Aubrey.
Auburn. What is it? Where we're calling you your house. Just go ahead.
Most of my business is, referrals and, so I concentrate in Denton County and County County.
Okay.
Because people from Denton County went from the County.
Yeah.
Denton County. One was to move up and the other one was to have lower profit for the same house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting all that market that we don't want to run into. No, so what it is we all do different things while we all do the same thing or similar things, right? In the end, we're all trusted advisors. Okay, so while I ask a lot of people, a lot of realtors, what do you do? I'm a realtor. Okay. Collaborate, open doors, and I like contracts. But in the back of your mind, you really know I'm more than that. I'm a therapist, you know, I'm a confidant, I'm an advisor, and that's to speed it up. All this under the umbrella, you're a trusted advisor at the end of the day. You may take a lot more steps with the first-time home buyer. You may, you know, have to do it a lot more. They know it all with someone that's bought 10 houses, you know. You may hold their hand from the start all the way to the finish. Sometimes you're a tax and you're a secretary, you're talking to the lender, and the lender can't get a hold of the buyer, so you're that middle person for them. You'll learn a lot. Okay, so where I'm going with this, is you're not just a realtor. Okay, and so there are a lot of different things going on, marketing trends, there's a lot of different tools, there's a lot of different ways of getting things done. And that's what we're hoping here. Michael has a lot of great tips. I don't know if you've ever seen some of his content, a lot of his coaching, he's very positive, his coaching career, you won some games, haven't you? I mean,
I try to stay humble, but
I'm throwing it out there.
I had a fairly successful career.
And then not only now that he's out of it, he's still got kids that you're coaching or at least mentoring, you're helping them get to that next level. I mean, there's a lot of things that y'all do, not just day by day as a realtor, but that night for parents, coaches, or all types of things. Marketing trends are reflected in the way we market our business, changes to be within the marketing model, technology, and consumer demands. Just throw it out there. What are some new things that you are using in the past 30 days? Or was it 2023? Okay, that you haven't used. Anybody? TikTok. How's that going for you? I have like a 2-year-old daughter like doing all that for me, and she's like, I know you know how to cook, well, I know how to eat it, but everything else, yes. I have other people, I have Tanya that's makes all these crazy videos for me, so that way I don't have to, I'm not the prettiest. So that. Anything else outside of TikTok? Podcasting, okay, and from podcasting, what are you getting out of that? What do you see as far as how's it helping you in your business?
But you get exposed to a whole new audience of people when you interview somebody on a podcast, because if they put it out through their network of people, you're putting it out through your network of people. So for me, it's almost like one of the ultimate collaborations to grow your presence, because it's beneficial for them to be with you, and it's beneficial for you to be interviewing them.
One of the things that actually Ray shared with me out there in the hallway is he did a 30-day video or broadcasting live kind of content, right? So that would be, you've done video in the past, right? But the thing was, it wasn't consistent as far as daily 30 days.
No, I never done video before.
Oh, now.
So, well, I always did post on Facebook, just regular, like family related, post. I couldn't find it. But first, I didn't think.
Okay, and what have you seen over the past 30 days from you that's been different than how you've done business?
Business wise, it's still the same. It's more so another touch point for my audience, right? So people that have done business with me in the past and those that will do business with me in the future. It's not an isolated, like, return on investment. It's just right. Or your planting seeds too, especially
And marketing model should be flexible. It should be able to adapt to the current trends. So that's why I'm asking what are you going to do with now. I'm not a realtor, but I am in the business of connection. I'm in the business of networking. I'm in the business of marketing myself and the companies that I represent. And so I have to do a wide array of, so especially with everything adapting towards internet, video, AI, even I mean, here for the past 60 days, I've personally been educating myself and taking classes on prompting for AI. You know, how we're using AI for the advantage of my consumers, my clients, my referral partners, and all that, and integrating with AI, which is what I've done. So a lot going on. You know what AI is? You know, just get on board now. Early on, people like AI and ChatGPT and Jasper AI and Open AI and all these have been out for like 90 days now. You're still around. You're not late. Learn, educate yourself. And if you don't know or don't want to do that, then better partner up with someone that knows that stuff or is learning that stuff. So that way you can sit there and kind of be a wingman and benefit off what you're doing. I believe probably in the next 2 years, I foresee prompting engineers being the way of the future. So while everyone's afraid that AI is going to take away from realtors or this, that, the other, or content creation, there's gonna have to be somebody back there prompting and telling what the AI to do and this, that, the other. So there's gonna be jobs going away. There's gonna be a lot working smarter, and easier, so. When identifying the market model that is right for your business, ask yourself the following questions. Who is your audience? Who's your main audience? You said earlier, you call me, are you going after buyers, are you going after? What is your audience?
Like, everyone is, I love working with first-time home buyers. I love educating them on the process.
That's what I want to hear. I know you look a lot for what value will my service bring to the consumer? We're all in the real estate game here, one way or another. And you're like, well, I'm a realtor, I don't really bring anything to it. But I've seen Ray, I've been watching them, I'm guilty. I haven't watched your video. You're getting information, you're getting stuff, takeaways. I know that, or I knew that, I heard that. Like, what is that old quote, Michael, that things that you used to say about taking a shower? Do it every day or something. That's what they do. Yeah, I love it. So there's a lot of different things, but what might bring you to ask yourself? Don't know. You don't have to answer it right now when I say that in your head. I do this. I'm doing that, or then you need to figure that out. Okay, write that down. Mental note. Text yourself that. What do I bring to the table? Other than opening the door and writing. Right? So if you're planning, use your time wisely. Okay, and this is where a lot of different software, technology, and all that AI, artificial intelligence, is going to come into play big time. Okay? Use your time wisely. What would you rather, instead of writing contact? I have maybe because I have to do the contracts. Instead of writing a contract and this, that, and the other, there's now new software coming out where it auto imports and really DocuSign. DocuSign is a great example where they, instead of having to go to it face to face, you can actually have them sign, click, initial, click, done, right? But there's softwares out there now to help with the contracts, to help, put everything into one format versus I still have a couple of realtors where they're coming, I'm a notary and I'll notarize documents for free if they come to me. And I have a realtor and she uses me all the time because she loves me and trusts me. She comes with a big stack of papers and she brings the clients into my office and I'm like, I'm not a realtor, guys, but I know there's something easier than that. And I'm gonna spit it out there. I don't know, but maybe you have to put it on, maybe you have to sign everything on ink. I know that's how she likes to do business. She is older, she's 82. So high five for her still out there getting contracts. But there's easier ways, right, Amy?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what are some things that problems?
I just DocuSign.
Docs.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, DocuSign is, okay. All right, we need DocuSign on the insurance side and on the credit side, so. Statistics, our housing market. I'll see it, y'all can read it. Okay, it's Chris, Madrid. So what was the takeaway? Basically, there's still houses this year compared to last year.
Inventory, well, yeah, the takeaway is that, and it's like a soapbox, because everywhere you look, if you turn on, CBS or NBC, it's like the sky's falling, right? It's all we hear. And particularly from a housing market perspective, and that's not the case. Right? They want to compare it to the mortgage mountain you and I are both in business then. It's not the same. Right? The amount of homes that were available on the market then compared to now. I mean, there was 4 million then. There's less than 1 million. Let's just round it up to 1 million, right? There's less than 1 million homes available to purchase. So again, at the end of the day, you have a lot of people that are needing to buy or wanting to buy, and there's not enough homes, right? The biggest component right now is just, again, the swing in mortgage rates. People are shocked at a 7% mortgage versus a 5 or 6%, whatever it sounds better. This feels better, right? So you have buyers that are just in and out of the market. That's what is kind of caused the slowdown of buyers being out there versus the fact that there's not homes. So there's 2 things.
You just said some of that flashback. So back in 06, 07, 08, what were before it really dipped down? Some of y'all may not be, some of y'all may be too young. But
So I bought my first house in 2005 at a 7.25, and I'm not that old. So again, we've just been really small the last 10 years. hearing twos and threes. Those days are gone. Yeah. The fact that mortgage rates got down to 2 to 3% were because they were artificially bought down by the Fed. That's not gonna happen again for a while, right? So we need to get used to the 5 and 6s. That's the new, you know,
So the things to keep in mind, guys, we're gonna go through this together. Today's digitally driven media environment makes more for real estate professionals to grab the attention of buyers. It is crucial to have digital marketing strategies in place. Who is not using social media? Everybody? Okay, great. So, they're like, I got my space, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is for kids, but the client demands support real estate companies and publish listing on their websites, meaning that they're much more involved in the form. Y'all think that's true or false? Very true, right? While you have clients that have access to all these websites, Realtor.com, Zillow, they're educated, they're more educated buyers. Does that mean they don't need you? Not at all, right? This means we need to be at the top of our game, we need to be educating ourselves, and I see a lot of y'all, at least a couple times a year. I may not be teaching class, but I'm learning with y'all, and I'll see you. CE. See before that's on your name. Okay.
Okay.
I know Miss Scott down there, she came to you in a class, last week or other than call student class. All it was today is to not pretend to sleep. It's okay. But now more than ever, consumers looking for the value of the real estate professional can bring to the table. Right, so again, what is that value you're bringing to the table? What separates me from the guy next door? Okay. Keeping current with the changes in technology is essential to the growth of real estate. Buyers can pull new listings, new comparisons, identify tax values, crime statistics, and full rating on the run. Okay, it doesn't mean that you can't sit there and make a 30-second video on your house that's you're about to list and still rave about how amazing this school district is, this elementary in this neighborhood, and all the perks of Foster, Texas. I mean, especially if you're operating in the DFW area, there's new communities popping up all the time, all types of content you can put together. I mean, what have you learned on what have you learned on your videos as far as what's short, easy for the first timer that scared to on camera? What's quick tip, like 3 main points that maybe they should hit whenever they're talking about a house or something?
Keep it clear and concise. Sometimes you kind of go down the rabbit hole and get off topic. For me, I practiced before I went live and I made bullet points versus like complete script. Things about like your appearance and things like that, that doesn't matter. Like sound, voice, things like that. People don't care about that. They just appreciate hearing the information from somebody.
Who has raised their hands? Who has done a walkthrough on a property, whether it's yours or not, and you video live it or you have? Okay. So we have 4 people in here that have done that. So every listing, I believe that you should be doing something, whether you're on camera or you have a selfie stick, or you're sitting there, hey guys, it's Chris Cuellar, fixing to walk through 301 Callahan Lane, and then you just go walk through and talk about it, and talk about the flooring and the ceiling. There's all, if you're not posting, Ray, do you know how many times you should be posting a day or a week as far as to gain contact and captivate?
This
3 times a day. That actually, you're at 5. But consumers want to know when is a good time to buy, when is a good time to sell, and there's a lot of things too. You have a lender that will get on video with you, that will do, whether it's a Zoom chat or maybe this is or show up to a listing with you. I know Chris will, if you know anyone that needs to have some sort of mortgage, because a lot of buyers are scared. Interest rates, this, that, the other, but there's the pros and cons to every scenario. Okay, cool. We're gonna wait until it drops down to 4% if and when, right? But that also most likely means what's gonna happen. Cost of that house is gonna go up, right?
I'd like to add a little bit, you know, you were talking about us, our presence in the media. It is so important because like I sell a lot of new homes. And now I see the new homes doing the same things that we are doing. You know, so we have to be in our people's friends and all that first before the builder gets to them. Because they are doing it, so it's
What's
gonna
the
be
name?
to be the first one, I think.
Means you need to stay in front of them. Maybe the first, but if you're not the last, guess what? It's whoever's in front of them.
But
Right
they
and
want
right.
to be big or not.
How many times over the years, this kind of, how long, this is kind of, apologize. How long have you been in the industry?
Since '84.
84. I knew it was something like 10 years plus, so. You know, yeah. So, I mean, have you ever? They loved you, they're like, thank you so much, hugs, and, you know, at the closing table, and then, you know, 5 years goes by, 10 years goes by, and then you see them, they buy another house, they don't call you, has that ever happened? I know it has.
Well, the truth is that most people know a lot of realtors.
Right,
So, and usually people will go to cousin Susie, which it doesn't do then
Right.
a real good service because they don't know the business as we know. And we know about finances, we know what we can get from the builders, what can we do with the buyers, I mean, with the sellers, you know. We have the experience to know how to do it, so we can get our way. We know and use a lot of psychology trying to get the best.
Right.
You know, the best for our client.
Yes.
To get back to themselves, you know, so whatever area we are. So, yeah, so, but what I'm saying is, yeah, sometimes it happens, and it's because people, after the door, the people who want to laugh sometimes.
so one of the things that, and so the answer would be yes, and while you have all these great tools, and they may go with Aunt Sally, or cousin Bob, or just someone else, but why did they go with them and not you, okay? And so this is another opportunity, is follow up, consistency, staying in front of them. These are all things that social media allows you to do without calling and texting them every single day. You know, so I love the fact that Ray did the 30-day thing, because guess what? While people are skimming through and tic-tacking and instigating and all that, right? They're opportunities. But at the end of the day, more content you put out there, they're gonna be watching every single one, but they're seeing bang, they're seeing your handle, they're seeing this, that, the other, and then, hey, you know, oh, hey, that video that Ray just made is awesome. Oh. Then their coworkers like, hey, I need to find a house over in, you know, Aubrey area. Oh, call my buddy Ray, he helped me out, or maybe he never even helped me out, but he's sitting in front of me, and now I'm a fan, you know, super fan, but now Ray's sitting. So, just, I'm not kidding, I watch your videos. And she kind of, maybe it's because there's been a lot more of this, so, and like yours, I want your stuff, she likes to dance. Anyway. But it's the concept of scrolling, and I'm always looking at stuff, and I'm liking stuff, and I'm caring for stuff, and you build a relationship. So if you're posting and putting things out there, you're subconsciously staying in front of people. And not only, I mean, I recommend everyone have some sort of CRM or something that allows you to be notified on your clients' birthdays. You know, maybe an anniversary. Hey, it's been 3 years since we closed on your house. I just wanted to say thank you for that opportunity. I mean, even social media, now you can see that social media video to these people, send them the link and just say, hey, just wanted to say thank you. It's your 1-year anniversary. If you ever have any questions, need help, you know, because again, you are the trusted advisor. It's not only show me a house, it's, hey, I have a plumbing issue, I have a HVAC issue, I need someone to come power wash my driveway. You already go, they're gonna come to you a lot of times. If you're staying in front of them, if you're at the forethought of everything you're doing. But if you're just sitting there, and I sold them the house, and all right, cool, they're gonna call me if they ever want to sell or buy, you know, because I told them that. You know, so what are you doing different? Are you staying in front of them? A lot of this comes to social media is just, okay. What is anyone using any type of birthday card? I use Outlook. We deal with that. I use Outlook, and I send a reminder for every single client. That's every single client to not only reshop them the renewal time for insurance, like on their birthday, and it's actually, I have some called send out cards. And I send out, thinking, I'm just the nicest guy ever. I put their date of birth in there, and so every year on their birthday, on 7 days before, send them out a card, it costs me 65 cents. And I don't have to do it, it's actually, it's like $2 for the card, plus 65 cents for postage. And so, while $2.65, it's another opportunity for me to stand in front of them, you know, and then also have emails that go out to monthly, actually, Thursday. I just got your email yesterday.
Yes.
It turns out,
So that, hold on, so 2 seconds, I'm sorry. So that was one of the things that I did touch on. It's not a weekly market, I think, just super short, to the point. You guys need high level stuff, I'm happy to, and it doesn't matter.
and I actually read this stuff because I'm not paying attention. Or as far as works. But I'm reading this email, I'm like, oh, this is great, and guess what I'm doing? Sorry, not sorry, really. I'm snipping some of this stuff and I'm passing it on to my clients. Hey, check this out, my guy Chris, that was done. You know, it's okay to recycle. Hey, I'm asking for permission now. What's the following question? Do I know the current market? I don't expect you to know the work side. But stuff like what Chris is sitting out on a weekly basis, that's value. You can sit there and even talk about it, you know. You don't need to get pro on it. You can sit there and just screen straight from it. And or you can team up with your mortgage guy and maybe add some content. No, do it once a month. Do it 30 days straight. Stay from your feet. Do I understand or am I able to explain why these changes are occurring? So if you don't, get with another real estate professional, real estate mentor, broker, whomever, and get the understanding. So when they ask you about it, you can speak about it logically and you know, instead of you know, like what I'm doing this whole. I'm just stuttering and mumbling. I apologize, guys. But am I able to communicate the changes and explain what the impact is to the consumer? Okay, so just having a good understanding of what's going on, not just in the real estate or mortgage, maybe in your community, maybe in where you're living. Mike, what do you think?
I was gonna say, I would take a picture of that right there. That's a week worth of videos right there.
All right,
It's a week worth of.
that's why I read
So
so
big awesome. And I'll tell you something that my social media, I call him the coach. Even though he's not a coach, but he says if you will educate other agents. That you will get real estate business by being an agent educator as well. So. Part of my also doing this is obviously, I'm gathering content for all my social medias. Do things, that's why you see Joe around here with cameras. But I just wanted to say, I was happy to picture that because that's a whole week's worth of social media, you know, what you're doing, I mean, all fun.
what are some questions that y'all seen, or maybe that you thought that have led to you doing something that impacted your business or your social media or your marketing strategies? Anyone?
One of the major things people now are worried about job markets.
Right.
People started thinking, David had their layoffs. These will be relevant. Are you with the company long enough, that you understand exactly what is happening? Because ultimately, yes, recession is coming. We haven't seen what they're keep on talking about, but you do what you do, you shouldn't be worried. The other thing is that people are also concerned with is that I'm buying at the right time. So I think they're thinking the price is so high. Think about it this way. And I think one of the major points is be down from 4 million to 1 million. Then there are more buyers in the market, sellers. And that means if you don't pay now what you were thinking about, you may get to pay more. But they're still like iffy about it. And then the biggest thing, stock market giving me more return. I was like that. Risk is there, right? I would rather have a risk of sitting in my house versus I'm sitting in the market and saying, oh my God, I just bought it.
So, Michael, let me ask you this. Brought up a great objection or a question. What are you saying to your clients when they're like, oh, you know, the prices seem good, but the interest rates are kind of high? What are you saying to your clients?
Well, I'm basically walking up to the same things that Chris. Showing them that with interest rates coming down, there's gonna be more buyers going into the market. And basically, it's just. It's supply and demand. Chris just showed you, supply is low compared to when the market crashed. And demand is still high, so that's the conversations I've had, is to just show that there's a difference now than was in 08.
Madrid. And I'm gonna say Madrid because I'm Chris and he's Chris and I'm like, so Madrid. What kind of conversations are you having with buyers as well? And I already know, I've heard of your conversations with contract. But you're like, man, this rate's a little bit high, but man, this is my dream home and it's the perfect price. What options are you giving them?
Yeah, so a couple of things, right? If the objection is, I don't want to buy now because it increased, so. Say, I don't want a 6.5%, whatever it is. And really, one of the main reasons that I know this is because Oldham and I we do a weekly podcast, and we kind of go over what homes have been selling for, right? At the peak of the market last year, just in calling out, that's one that we mainly focus on. So on average, at the peak of the market last year, homes were selling for almost 10% over the list, which means that some went for, that's an average, some went for 22%, and some may have gone for list, right? We're getting a 10% average. So again, I provide this data. Hey, this is what homes were selling for at the peak of the market. If you were looking at a $500,000 house plus 10 to 22%, this is what you're buying for at a, let's just say at about 4% rate. That's what your monthly cost is. Versus right now, you're getting a home for 6% under this average, right? At a 6.5% interest rate. And it's amazing how not far off that number is from the over price that you're paying there, right? So that's a basic one. The other ones that we're actually working on right now, 2-1 buy down is massive right now. A 3-1 buy down gets you 3% below the current market rate. So there's options out there that you set to the cost. No more to go yet. Really,
Keep it simple, right? If you have questions, you want to know more about them, definitely get with them, be very knowledgeable. At the end of the day, buy a house now, the price is right. We can always get you on the low interest rate, when the rates drop, and we refinance, right? So there's all types of options.
One of the things that Chris touched on, it's like, and I agree, like, when having your vendor by your side helps out a lot, because a lot of people think, hey, it's too much, and simplest way, you just put it out. You just tell them, hey, yeah, you may be paying high interest rates now. You may be able to adjust or, refinance in the future when rates are low. Or you can buy an interest rate and then kind of show them the calculation of the life of, if you stay in this house, this will be worth doing that, right? I think when that resonates, they will quickly jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, whatever.
Yeah, that's a great point. That we can by buying now, and then, yeah, that's a great point. Consumer, what options? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to, why to buy now? Besides the rates is like, everybody's saying, marry the house and
Take the rate.
Yeah. Besides that, the market right now is very good.
Yeah.
The sellers and builders are giving all kinds of concessions. I mean, you walk into any house, okay, what do you want? You want the piano? You want to pay the right job. And people, they will accept your offers with things like that. You ask for the closing costs and me for that. And so it's a good time to buy, and then if you start saying, well, if you're renting, how much you're paying, and you're building equity for the landlord, why don't you give it yourself, you have children, you have, it's another thing we need to learn is the finances, how you say, listen, what you're paying now is kind of even less than what you're paying in rent. If you start looking at all the advantage of owning.
When you start using logic into the equation and remove the emotion, it just makes sense, right? When the number makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And we're running out of time, guys. So I'm going to kind of speak through some of the things, and but if you have questions, raise your hand, throw it at me. Tell me to your company as well. No other program on within the market. Consumer what information that will allow them to make their own decision rather than feeling pressure to make a decision. Consumers want to utilize the latest trends in social media. They want to use that, guys. They like to be in bed, and they like to be in the bowl bath, and sit there and look at all that stuff and educate themselves. Which normally you would do all this space, and it's, people do it on the phone or this, but now you're educating, you're basically, they're interviewing you through your social media. Okay? Leave your politics and all that stuff out of your social media, at least on your business page, because I've seen that fire. Visual aids can be a help tool, graphs, statistics, math, industry news, mobile apps, text campaigns, video tours, anything else?
I just, I study, and talk to a lot of people about these things. I know like videos now that have B-roll in them. Well, it's not just you sitting there talking, but if you're talking for a second, then it goes to a aerial view of a housing community while you're talking, and then it comes back to you, and then to another B-roll. I know those are, get more airplay and things.
So I love that he said that because I'm not the prettiest guy. So I do some, I've done a lot of land in my past life. When I moved back to Dallas, I was landing. And I was buying thousands of acres at a time. And when I'm packaging these bills for my clients and sending them out, last thing I wanted was me to sit there talking. And last thing I wanted was just a whole bunch of video. So what I was doing is I would do the B-roll. Explain what B-roll is to some people that.
So how I look at it, for example, so say that you're filming and you're not comfortable, you're not comfortable being in front of the camera. B-roll is perfect because you can talk, be yourself, and all the parts that you mess up on or look away or mess up. That's part of B-roll. So that's why it's important to have a good editor and learn how to edit yourself, be it mobile, so that you can it's your time. It's all we do.
You can literally be describing the property, you can be describing the community, you're telling them about whatever you want them to know while showing them the layout or whatever. It's just not any specific content, it's just a flow of video, and you're talking about the perks, the pros of everything that's going on with what you're trying to show. So that's B-roll, guys. Thank you, thank you.
You could write it down and put it on the chat to create something.
There you go. And that's, hey, that's the next slide. I'm out. It's coming. Everyone's information that wants to increase their business should focus on reaching within their market and identify the trends. A new trend that I've seen here just in about 6 weeks, which I've been using it. I beta tested it a while back, and so ChatGPT. If you don't know how to write social media posts, or maybe there's some content that you like and it holds true to a lot of the stuff you do, you can literally copy and paste that into the ChatGPT. It's actually not still in beta testing phase, but once it's out, it's going to be a low subscription, $4 a month. Definitely recommend it when it's fully out and fully functional. Remember what I told you about prompting engineer and getting that stuff? That is geared towards AI. AI, ChatGPT is one of the, there's a lot of platforms out there now. ChatGPT is open for beta testing. So wonky, you got to proofread, make sure it's right. But you can create all types of content, you can write code, you can even have it develop artificial pictures for you if you wanted. But a lot of people I'm seeing using it for social media. Please write, as if you were New York Times, a social media comment on 1031 Harbor Way, blah, 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 which is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3,000 square foot, blah, blah, blah. You put all the details in there and it'll write, 2-page or 2-paragraph, whatever you want, depending on the direction. So pretty good little, right? Awesome apps and sites. Yeah, I told you it was coming. All right. So a few things that I like to use that maybe you don't use, maybe you've never even heard of. Take a picture, check them out. A lot of these, I've beta tested over the past 24 to 36 months. I've utilized all these myself. Some of them, I had a lady actually call me on Friday and write me out. She's like, Chris, this is a free life experience. Well, it was. I apologize if they started charging now, but Adobe Logo, you can make anyone say whatever you want, like Photoshop for voices. I can literally take Kristen Drift's photo and sit there and make it say whatever I want. I can make it into me, I can make it into Jasper AI. I love this. It writes whole range of documents for you, creating social media and website material. Logo AI uses AI to artificially create these videos where it's different people reading out the material. I love Logo. You can literally, if I wanted to make this whole presentation and I can make it look, they have 400 avatars, you can even scan in your own face and it'll see whatever you want. And that's some of the little pop-ups where it's a little lady and she's like, hi, Chris, how can I help you today?" That's what they're doing, something just like that. Cintiq AI. Cintiq is actually one of my guilty pleasures, and I'm going to show it to you real quick. Just a quick rundown. Hopefully. Looks like a real person. Doesn't it?
Presentations, tutorials, type it. Giant steaming pile of text. It's just not as engaging to read as just watch. Open the page up, how would you take that text? In just a few minutes, turn it into this. Take that, and you will learn how to send it. Hello, guys. I will take anything to base reports included in them. Let's need to create a custom avatar who looks itself to jump right in.
All commercial. People. So just to give you an idea, if you are not up to date on AI, that is one that I have used for, I made a lot of commercials and stuff. My father worked for IDC for 20 years. Well, I turned on. And me and him talked about this. And he thinks that video production here in 5 years could potentially be obsolete with everyone going this route. It's you pretty much can make yourself look like whatever you want. I'll give you one more. Wow. That's all that perfect that work. Right. There's a lot. There's a lot of that one. Wow. Who's your camera? How do you deal with your account? Choosing my camera. It's great. It's a social media content. It basically and what we want is the other than what we create all types of media. Keeping matters current, market updates, social media content, and blog posts. If you don't use KMC, use it.
Oh, yeah.
You recommend it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Also, you just pull that, run that through Jasper.
Yep.
Rewrite their blog.
Yep.
And they do the.
Exactly. Fiverr, use Fiverr. I started using Filipino video editors for me, and so my video now I have to spend hours on. I'm old school. I use Final Cut Pro. But now it's taking 2-3 hours. We're getting everything edited in an hour back to me for $20. Now I'm having to do all that. So there's all types of great things you can use. If you haven't used these, if there's something you want, like let's say. How many don't do the call list where to ask people like, hey, are you interested in selling your house, blah, blah, blah? No, you don't call Charlie. Okay. Well, if you ever do, I've had a list where back in the day, I used to use Fiverr where, hey, would you like to refinance, blah, blah, blah. And I gave like a list of, I think like 10,000 people. And then as soon as they had someone on the line that was interested in refinancing, they transferred it over to me and I sat there and it's like, all right, let's get going. Right, and I was only talking to people that were interested.
CapCut is another good app.
CapCut, write it down, guys.
Video editor, CAP,
CapCut, I'm gonna check that out as well. A lot of different tools, guys. Yeah.
Is there any apps for benefit for that?
So, that's the thing, you see, like, so I think, so I think that, really, we do that without. And now it's everywhere, you can find it, but we developed something about 7 years ago where it does ringless voice, about your voice. Hey, Jasmine, it's Chris, I just wanted to get a hold of you regarding this, that, the other, and then anyone that's interested, they're calling me that wants to do whether it's insurance or credit, so.
I was gonna say, there's CRMs that have,
It's all in
ability built into this things.
Any questions asked?
Instagram's a big one. Instagram now running with Facebook is big. This generation that's coming up, because I just took big marketing social media class, they're called social shoppers, so they are searching everything about you guys. So the more that you have access to give to them, the better it's being for like, I think it's from like 20 to 30 social shoppers. And I know for myself, if I'm looking to meet somebody or I'm going to lunch with a new lender, I'm reading everything. I want to look at Facebook, I'm trying to find your Instagram. So keeping that, when you have your Instagram page, emojis, nobody thinks about the emojis in your bio. 3 emojis you guys need to capitalize on your profile. It's big there too, and make it personal, you know, because you do have a lot of social shoppers that are on there.
They are almost out of the house.
That doesn't everything for you. Big part of my wallet right now, but it's big, you know? And so they want to know who you are, they want to get to know you, and then sometimes you go to that realtor's page on Instagram and all it is like these generic posts, right? What are you really learning about them? Who are they? Are you a ski mom? Are you a dog mom? Carousels are big, those are coming back, and they're actually pushing carousels more than they are pushing reels on Instagram. We have been seeing big algorithms switch to posting more carousels because they're trying to take over TikTok, but then TikTok is combating Instagram right now, so they're kind of like fighting this fight. So more carousels are being pushed out. If you have a business page, then your reels are being pushed out right now. So that going, and you know, carousels just like home pages, photos together, uploading, and you swap. Yeah.
Chris, we're gonna work.
No, so to that point, right, is even if you get, I feel like more and more, if you get where you work our referrals, right, that's a massive place of this, but, kids these days, they're still going online.
Yeah.
They're still gonna search online to see how, you know, to see, like, to see about you, you know, the way that you do business, all that stuff, so what I've noticed is people that are really good with social, they may not be as good at being a lender or a realtor or insurance guy or whatever it is, but they're better at video. Yeah. So if it's between you, that mom gave them a referral to call you as their trusted advisor, right? And they see, you know, Johnny Smith or whatever over here online, he does something really well. I would bet they're still gonna call him.
Yeah.
And possibly even go with him, find out later that, okay, you probably don't know. But it's still at that works where, again, you don't have to be like amazing, you have to be able to stand out. Something.
And Instagram schedule.
Yeah.
Look at the post, get your post ready for the month and then schedule everything and Facebook meta database and they'll post everything for you guys. So you guys already posted.
If y'all are like, you don't have time to do all this, well, guess what, if you have an hour where you can dedicate to, you can, like she said, there's a Facebook scheduler where it auto posts to your Instagram and your Twitter and all this other, if you have set up like these platforms that are just solo that aren't Facebook, where you can do all your social medias, but you can sit there and I make all my content, all my videos. I actually do it on the last day of the month. I'll schedule it in the morning, 7:30, 8:30, and I'll make all my little posts. And I put them on the calendar, so I know exactly what day, what time, what post is going out. And I spend an hour for the next 30 minutes. So sometimes if I have a lot of time, I'll do the next 2 weeks. So, guys, thank you so much for allowing me to talk to you. No one else, please. So, hey guys, thank you so much. And here's everyone's information, Michael's information. Michael's actually going to be up at TK's Comedy Club tonight. We're networking happy hour. If you want to come check it out, it's yeah, I'm gonna yeah, Michael will get it to him as well. So if you have questions, you need them up there. text them, message them, and all that.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Here.
I've just got a couple more things and then it's be done. For next
And if
week.
you didn't sign in the back, please put your license number on there.
is that happy for this?
Oh, the getting clear.
Well, thinking about being the way like the economy. They right there next to.
I texted you.
Yeah. Put out the there, sir. No, you're not.
Make sure you sign the sheet to get the credit. All right, next week, we're gonna have the trend, contract updates. So we'll have Joe Campbell from Capital Title, he's, one of their attorneys, so he'll be here. Is it gonna be for 2 hours? So we've got, still sort of noon, and it's gonna last for 2 hours for him to get all of that in. It will not be for CE credit because Capital Title has to have it at their office to offer the CE credit. So it will basically just be updates, that took effect February 1st, you didn't know, so. And, if you want to scan that, that is Amy and I's Eventbrite page, so that's just a QR code that'll take you to our Eventbrite page, and then I guess you follow it like in social media, you'll get updates when the classes are released. Because this one actually, I think it's more available. But basically, that's it. Appreciate all you guys coming. It's good to see some familiar faces again. You want to go back up? I'll put Amy and I's information. It's been up there quite a bit. We pride ourselves on this team. So if you need something, we don't know all the answers, but we've been in it long enough. We generally know where to go to get. So to me, that's what this most as much importance as knowing the answers. There's knowing where to go get it. So we'll do what we need to do to help you with that. So appreciate you coming. Try to make it back again. Anybody have any questions? I would just finish up by saying, you know, all this video and all the social media is great, but it still doesn't work if you don't get out there and get face to face with people. The social media is just a way to build that trust, to get that opportunity to get it from. So let's not forget that, because it's going to be a contact sport, even more than it's ever been. So with that, you guys have a great day. Appreciate your time. Have the food out there. Oh, this is something on the line.
We have a long year for we are